welcome everyone. Good evening or good morning, wherever you are. I hope you have a tea and you're comfortable and you've opened either Bindo's PDF that he's created for us, or you have your copy of Mandukya. We're now well into Mandukya. We have working through chapter 3 in Karika number 6. It's great that we have Bindo recovered from his little flu, not surprising. And I'm grateful that you're all together and create the satsang, learn together and share together. So Hari Om, and I'll turn it to Bindu. Thank you so much, Bindu.
Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrabhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashi Kridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murtibeda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Bhadram karne vishunuyama devaha Bhadram pashyemakshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai suštuvagum sastanubhi Vyashema devahitam yadayu Swasti na indro vriddashravaha Swasti nah pusha vishwavedaha Swasti nastaksho arishtanemi Swasti no brihaspatir dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Prajnam Shupradhanai Sthirajara Nigarai Vyapya Lokan Bhuktva Bhogan Savishtan Punaradidishanodvasitan Kamajanyan Pitva sarvan visheshan sobiti madurabhum Mayaya bhojayanno Maya sankyam turiyam Paramamrutamajam Brahmayatannatosmi Yo Vishwatma Vidija Vishayan Prasya Bhogan Stavishtan Paschastyanyan Swamiti Vibhavan Jyotisha Svena Sushman Sarvanedan Punaravishanai Swatmani Stavayitva Hitva Sarvan Visheshan Vigada Gunaganai Patusau Naturiyaha. Upanishad Mantras. Omityeda daksharamidam sarvam tasyopa vyakhyanam bodham bhavat bhavishyaditi sarvam omkara eva. Yachanyat trikaladhitam tadapi omkara eva. Sarvam hyedad brahma ayamatma brahma soyamatma chatushpat. Jagaridastano bahiprajnaha saptanga ekona vimshati mukaha stulabhuk vaishwanaraha pradhamapadaha. Swapnastano antaprajna saptanga ekona vimshati mukaha viviviktabhuk taijasa dvidiyapadaha. Yatra supno na kanjana kamam kamayade sanjana supnam pasyati satsushuptam sushuptastana eki bhuta prajnana ghana eva manandamayaha. Anandavuk edo cheto mukaha prajna tridiyapadaha. Esha sarvajna sarveshwara sarvesha antaryami sarveshyam yonihi sarvesha prabhavapyayohi bhutanam. Na anda prajnam na bahi prajnam no veda prajnam na prajnanaganam na prajnam na prajnam adrishyam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achinthyam avyavadesham ekatma pratyasaram prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtam manyante sa atma sa vijneyaha. Soyamatma adhyakshara omkara adimatram patra matra matrasya pada akara ukara makara iti. Jagaridastano Vaishwanara Akaraha Pradama Matra Aptera Adimattvadva Apnodi Havai Sarvan Kaman Sadischa Bhavati Ya Evam Veda. Swapnastana Taijasa Ukara Dvidiya Matra Utkarshad Uvayatvadva Utkarshadi Havai Jnana Santatim Samanascha Bhavati Na Asya Brahmavid Kule Bhavati Ya Evam Veda. Sushuptastana prajnat makara tridiya matra mitera apiterva minoti hava idam sarvam apitischa bhavati ya evam veda. Amatras chaturtha vyavaharya prapanchopashama shiva advaita evam omkara atmaiva samvishadi atmana atmanam ya evam veda. So, having completed the first chapter, which is on the Upanishad intermixed with Karika, second chapter was on the Karika alone, which was dealing with Mithyatvam. Advaita Prakaranam, as the name suggests, Advaita means Mithya. Mithyatvam of the world, Jagat Mithya, is what was the theme of the second chapter. So, Brahma Satyam was the first chapter, Jagan Mithya is the second chapter, and we are into the third chapter now. Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Na apara means not separate. Therefore, Advaita. Therefore, the third chapter is known as Advaita Prakaranam. To establish the Advaita Prakaranam, where there is no duality, non-dual, that is being started with an example of space and space inside a pot. These are the way in which the example is being used. So Gaudapada has a technique in the sense that he uses the example first, then to support the example he is using where the other Upanishads have used words or mantras to establish the same thing. So we will going towards that, but we are in the example where we saw that when a potter makes a pot, there is a space contained inside a pot. Now this pot is having utility value, no doubt about it. The utility value of the pot is depend upon the space inside the pot also. That is also very clear. So we have now the condition called a created pot giving us a utility value with the space contained in the pot. In the process of this, did the pot really create the space inside the pot for having the utility value? Is a question which Gaudapada is taking up and being analyzed logically. So he says that Rupa Karya Samakhyascha Vidyante Tatra Tatra Vai Akashasya Na Vedo Asti Tadvat Jiveshu Nirnayaha. Sixth Karika, sixth mantra, sixth Karika, the sixth verse. Rupa Karya Samakhya. Rupa means forms, Karya means functions, Samakhya means names, Cha, all of them. Vidyante, they differ between the form is not the function is not the same as the name. So name, form and utility are different for a product. In each of the case, tatra tatra. But Akashyasya na vedo asti tadvat jiveshu nirnaya. In this example, has the space been differentiated in any way? Can the space be called a space has been created by creating the pot? The pot has been created, no doubt. The potter was there, mud was used, and the shape was given. The utility has been, made up by the pot which has been created. And the utility comes because of the space inside the pot. No doubt about it. But did that bring in any difference in the space? That is a question which Gaudapada is asking. By becoming the pot, the space was created or was it made separate from the space which was available? None of this, both of them has never taken place. The space cannot be divided nor can the space become a part of the total space. Because if it had been a part of the total space, it should be possible for it to separate from the total. That is the condition for a part and a total. The part can be separated from the total. That such a situation doesn't arise. Therefore, it is not part of the total. Now, is something new has been created by the pot has been created? No. Because the space was there where the pot came up, and even for the pot to have its own shape and look and function, it is depending upon the space. Therefore, the space inside the pot is a transactional reality or dependent reality or an illusion of a separatedness. Tadvat jiveshu nirnaya. So we have to now compare this with the jivatma. Jivatma means the individual awareness. The individual existence awareness. I sometimes feel I should not use the word awareness because the word awareness is not understood the way in which I want everyone to understand. So I am tempted to use the word Chaitanya, but the Chaitanya word being typical in Sanskrit may not ring bell to everyone. That's why I am forced to use the word awareness. The word awareness which I am using is not the awareness anything to do with objects or subject. It is the essence of knowing, which I call it as awareness. There is no better word in English for that. In Sanskrit we can use Chaitanyam or Satchidanandam. These the words can be used, but in English you have no such it is a non-transferable word, translatable word. So I have to use the word awareness. So pardon me if I am using that, but keep it in mind whenever I am using the word awareness, it is not the awareness of an object or the awareness of oneself. None of them are conditioned. It is not a conditioned awareness. It is unconditional awareness. So with that in mind, Jiva is to be treated as Jiveshu Nirnayaha, means in the conclusion when we are taking a Jiva, the Jiva's awareness, unconditioned awareness inside the Jiva is not separated from the total unconditional awareness in which everything is also appearing. This is how Gaudapada wants us to look at the meaning of the verse. Because if you are making a segregation, these two qualities have to be there. Either it has to be created or it has to be a part. But you cannot say that it is created or what is created will have to go through changes. But we know that awareness have not gone through any change from childhood till the time we die. When the pot is destroyed, the awareness, the equivalent of space, that space is not going anywhere. Same way, when the notion or the ideation of the individual is lost either in the death or in realizing his true nature of his own nature, that I am not the body, not the individual, not the ego. All those, when it is because they are all objectifiable, therefore I am the one who is observing or witness to it. Therefore I am not the individual. That knowledge when arises, what happens to the individual? We call him as a jnani. Now from his point of view, he may see other bodies, other individuals having the same qualities like his own body which he was identifying. The knowledge doesn't make any change in his body or in his transaction. The transaction with which he has to do is with his eyes, ears, etc., the five sensory organs of perception or the five sensory organs of action. Without that, he is dead. The body is dead. But he knows that these are all instruments with which I am using. Same way, every other object or every other person is also the same awareness using different sensory organs and sensory functions of action. So even when he has got that identification with awareness, unconditioned awareness, he continues to operate through his sexual organs, knowing very well that I am not the body. But for those who have not understood and identified with unconditioned awareness, they still identify that I am limited by the body and my body is my limitation. Therefore, anything happening to the body, it affects me. The happiness, sorrow, death, decay, disease, or heat, cold, all those things he knows that thing. The Jnani knows that these are all effects happening on the body. I am the witness or the pure unconditioned awareness which knows that these things are happening. It is in his awareness these things are happening. So he is a witness to these changes or happenings, but he doesn't say that I am getting hot, I am feeling cold, or I am being aged, I am being old, I am being birth or decay or death or anything that. And he knows that this is the same with everyone. And he also knows that while he has understood the reality, the student or the person who is sitting in front of him and listening has still not been able to identify with the unconditional awareness. Therefore, he still identifies with his body. This is how the operation is happening for between the two individuals, one who has realized and one who has not realized. Therefore, Gaudapada goes to the next verse 7. Na akashasya gadakasho vikara avayavo tata na nava na naiva atmanaha sada jivo vikara avayavo yata. This which I explained in the last this thing also. Gadakasha means the pot akasha or the space contained by the pot. Just as it is neither a product out of the creation of the pot. The akasha is not a creation. Pot is a creation, but akasha is not a creation, or the space is not a creation. Space is being conditioned by the pot, and it neither is a avayava means part of the total space. Now this space has been separated out to call it as a pot space. Now pot space cannot be part of as a part of the total space, because anything that is part can be separated out of the total, or it can have a what you call identity with which it can be separated out from the if not physically, at least notionally you can physically separate it out. Now the Gadakasha or the pot space, in the place where it is being made, we can say notionally I am segregating from the total space. But if that space is there, when the pot moves, can the part of the Akasha also move it? Like when my hand is moved through the body, can my hand move all over my body? No. It has got a location, it has got avayava means it's a part where it is located in the total. So the location cannot be changed of a part. That type of a change thing doesn't happen. Same way, tada jiva atmana vikara avayava sada. Always that jiva is neither the created out of the Paramatma, nor is it an avayava. Here is the two refutation. The Dvaitin belief is that the jiva is a creation by the Paramatma. Paramatma is a creator and jiva is a created one. This is the Dvaita philosophy is all about. They think that there is a Sarveshwara who is a creator, Srishti Siddhi Laya Karta. So Karta, when the Karta name is used, means he is a doer. And he creates Srishti. He does the Srishti, means he does the creation, and he maintenance and dissolution of the created one is his responsibility. This is the Vikara or the creation part of the what the Dvaitin believes. And the Visishta Advaitins say that I am part of the Sarveshwara. So he is that as long as I feel separation, that Ishwaran is thing, but I am not really separate, but I am part of it. Because why? Why do they believe that I am part? Because Paramatma is Sarvajna, and he said is omniscient, omnipotent, and etc. Whereas the Jiva, which I am, is a part of it. Because of that I am part of it, I am not an omniscient and omnipotent. Therefore, I am an Avayava, is what the Visishta Advaitins think it. So this is the two difference between the thing that both are being refuted by Gaudapada saying Tada eva jiva atmana vikara avayavaha na sada. Never, it is never possible for this thing. Yada bhavati balanam gaganam malinam malai. Tada bhavati abuddhanam api atma api malino malai. Now here is that this thing that balanam means those who have not formed conviction. Doesn't mean a child. Because normally children are supposed to be the people with easily deluded and confused about their own experiences. So what they say is that anybody who has no firm conviction or the firmness of understanding, he is treated as a bala as per the philosophy of is concerned. So the philosophy says that just as the children imagine that the sky has become dirty when it is a dust is being coming in through a dust storm, or a wind is blowing dust, or smoke comes in the sky. They say that the sky has become dirty with the smoke. Or we also, even though we all say that the fog is polluting the whole space, so that city is not livable anymore because the space is contaminated by fog or pollution. It is the air which is getting polluted, not the space. But we superimpose the air pollution onto the space pollution. But the space is pure as ever, uncontaminated, unhindered, or undivided as usual. But the air which is occupying the space can get contaminated. So, Balanam Gaganam, the sky of the child, will become dirty because of the smoke or a dust. Tada abuddhanam, those who have not realized their own nature, their own reality, Atma, api malino malai bhavati. For them, the Atma is the body, the Panchakosha Viveka, or the five body, five sheath, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, all those things. And there is the requirement of purifying them. So going for the purification of the body, they think that their body has become this thing. Untouchability, everything is coming because of this ignorance which is there. The body can be dirty, like the air can be polluted. The Atma, which is the reality of the Jiva, is never contaminated or never soiled or dirtied by anything that is happened in the same. Here is where the detailed analysis have to be done. See, what happens is that experiences, before going, this is as a preamble to the next verse is what I am going to say now. See, we have this thing that Brahman may be treated as a creator of the world or a producer of anything, and is that way we have to see? Or is it that creation is really happening? From this verse onwards, he is trying to build up the case for his Ajadivada. Gaudapada is known as a proponent of Ajadivada, means non-creation. Now to take to that is the next verse. So before, as a preamble to that, he says that experience and appearance of the world are to be questioned. Appearance and experience. But the intellectual conclusion has to be arrived on that appearance and experience and that need to be analyzed or questioned or logically viewed in such a way that can experience happen even with real things only, or apparent things also can the experience happen. This is where importance is the word maya, avidya, illusion, unreal, all those things make sense only when we understand this thing. What is the relationship between experience and appearance? There can be only two conclusions. The world exists and the world originated, therefore experiences are real, which normally everybody is thinking. The moon can exist without even when the observer is not there, is a standard question which is being asked. The second is that the consequences of the first one is something exists must have originated. That means if I am having the experience of the world, it must have originated. Unless something is created, how can I have an experience? Now, the Big Bang and the creation of the world, expression, everything which is being spoken, is from that point of view that we are experiencing the world, so there must be an origin of the world, and that might have had taken place in some point in time. So time might have started there. All those added in, theories which we are being there. But Gaudavada negates existence of the world and also its origin. It has never ajadi. That is the word he uses. That there is no creation at all. Why? Because he accepts that appearance and experience of the world can happen even if they are unreal. If you remember, we had the experience of the snake. The snake was never created. It was never created, but the snake caused so much of fear. We started sweating. We started even taking measures to annihilate the snake of a non-created experience related activity. It was only an appearance. That appearance can give rise to experience. If you look at the same thing like the mirage water, even the animals run towards that appearance of the water and they keep running until they fall dead because they never reach the mirage water for drinking the water. Even the same way, we are seeing so many things that we are seeing the sky as blue in the daytime, and we transact with the blue sky, the blue water and everything. That all thing is because the appearance of the blueness in the sky. But every one of us, at least those who have understood that the sky has no color. The color of the blueness of the sky is only due to the ozone layer in the surface of the earth, which is seen only when the sunlight falls on it. In the night, if the blueness is that of the sky, the blueness should have been there even in the night, but we don't see the blueness in the night. Why? Because that is a phenomenon, an appearance. And the experience can be there, but there is no creation for it. So the existence and the origination of the rope snake should be understood that it is never a created thing which gave rise to the experience, but experience can happen even without a creation. Therefore, we talk about the things like mithya, adhyasa, adhyasa, etc. to fulfill the conditions of these experiences, or as per the Advaita philosophy, we call it as mithya, adhyasa, avidya. These are the words which are used for experiences accepted but creation not accepted, ajadi. So when we see that what is the real thing is happening is that though the experience and appearance are accepted, The cause for the experience in the existence is ignorance of the substratum in which we are superimposing or adhyasa of the created things, and therefore the experiences out of the created things. The creation has really not taken place. The jiva has never born. Ajayamano bahuda vichayate is a word used in the Taittiriya as well as in the Purusha Sukta. And even in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Najayate mriyate va katachit. Neither it is born nor it is dying. So the jiva, the idea that we are all individuals, is an experience of a non-real, non-created entity. This non-created entity, how does it give a real experience, is due to the adhyasa or mithya. Adhyasa means superimposition. Mithya means it is that which is unreal, but experiences can still happen. This is happening because the ignorance of the Adhisthana or the substratum, which is what we call it as Turiya or Brahma, etc. So, if we have to understand that, how does then the Jiva Srishti, it is there in the scriptures also. Even the Taittiriya Upanishad says, Tasmad Agasha Atmanas Sambodha Akashat Vayu Vayor Agni Agnerabha Dya Prithvi Prithivya Aushadayo Aushadebhya Purushaha. So, Akasha Sambodha, Akasha was created, and Akasha Vayu, from Akasha came the air. Like that, the gradation of creation is being mentioned in the Upanishad. So why does that mean the Upanishad is telling lies, or is it telling something which is fictional? So there here the Gaudapada says that these are the things which are to be understood with the different layers of the understanding of the individual, which he comes in the one of the following slokas. He will explain that there are three type of category of understanding capability. He is not talking about the superiority, inferiority. It is the capability of understanding. Hina, Madhyama, Adama. Hina, Madhyama, Uttama. These are the three types, like the inferior, the middling, and the superior. Depending upon these type of intellectual understanding, one can grasp it. The Upanishads are also addressing different type of students. That doesn't mean that those who can understand it directly from the first word itself, Shravana Samakale Eva, for him the Upanishad is not required. Guru Vakya is alone is enough. The Guru Vakya itself becomes the Upanishad, or Upanishad and Guru Vakya are not too separate. So he takes it that this is a fact, and he understands it because Guru explains it in such a way that there is no stone unturned, no doubt left in this point. For that, the mind should be, or the intellect of the individual should be in such a perfect condition that no previous conditions can contaminate his understanding, or nor is he diverting his attention when Guru is telling something, that he is trying to corroborate with his previous experience what the Guru is saying is right or wrong. These type of things which will happen is where the category falls into middle or the inferior type of understanding. So the Gaudapada very clearly says that the Jiva Srishti, what we are talking about here, there is no difference between one Jiva and another Jiva. But the space with which the Jiva is identified, or like the pot space, has absolutely no difference between one individual and another individual. What difference is there in the quality of the mud on the pot. Same way, the quality of the mind intellect complex with which we are interacting in the world can have differential levels. This is that, but now we will go into this aspect also as to is that also created? Gaudapada is refuting even that is there, not there. Even the jiva is not there. So we will just now go to the next Karika, which is the ninth one. Marane sambhave chaiva gatyagamayorapi stitau sarvasirisheshu cha akasho avilakshana. So marane sambhave cha. Marana and sambhava means creation. In the case of birth, death and birth, evam gatyagamayoho, also coming and going, that is birth and rebirth and departure. Birth and death, departure and coming. Stidau sarveshu sharisheshu akashena vilakshana. This jiva or the jivatma, when I say jiva is the jivatma, stidau sarva sharireshu, it is existing in all the bodies. Akashena avilakshana, like the undisturbed or undisputed space which this cannot be created or made part and or avayava type of a thing. Same way, the unconditional awareness which is being experienced through the body of one individual is not different from any other body. So stidau sarva sharireshu cha. Whether it is a human body, animal body, bird body, tree body, stone body, doesn't matter. Earth body, moon body, Jupiter body, doesn't make a difference. In all these bodies, that unconditional awareness is the substratum in which they all are suspended or existing, similar to the space. Now, if you look at the space itself, there is a planet like Earth where the water and air is there. People are able to live. We see the people, living beings, animals, etc. There are barren planets. Even the gluttonous black holes which can eat anything is unable to eat the space in which it is existing. The black hole also is space depending upon the space. Therefore, even the black hole needs space for its own existence. That is the unconditionality of the space, and the awareness is superior to even space. So, and it is in that awareness, unconditional awareness, all bodies, whether it's a black hole or the earth or everything on the earth, or even the viruses, bacteria, everything which is there, which we are saying that everything is suspended in that awareness. So the substratum in which we is that what we have to understand as the reality, not the bodies, because bodies are not real. Because this is where the experience and appearances have been referred by my earlier reference. Experiences of the bodies are there because the appearances of the bodies are there. Have they been created or not is what we have to examine. Sangada swapnavat sarvam atma maya vivarjita adityo sarvasamyeva na upapattir tarhi vidyate. Now here he is refuting that the jiva itself is not there. Sarva Sangada, all the bodies which I referred, black hole or earth, Jupiter, sun, moon, viruses, bacteria, atoms, anything which you are saying. Swapnavat is created like a dream. In the dream, we had a whole world of experiences. So many things were created and experienced. Were they created in reality? But experiences say that they were created by the dreamer, not by the dreamer, for the dreamer, by somebody, and the dreamer was put inside. That is the way in which some people talk about it. But if it is created, it should be available for destruction, and after destruction, that destroyed part should be seen or should be available for analysis. What will we do with the destroyed dream? Can we in any way do an analysis on the destroyed parts of the dream? It is not available. So Swapnavat, when we are saying, is that it is to make us understand that it is an appearance. This waking world, which we today refuse to deny its existence because of experiences, Gaudapada says, is Atma Maya's Visarjitaha. Visarjita means, by discarded or extruded or, drawn out of. We see that, the falling stars from the sky. Suddenly the stars start shining and falling. We feel that the star has been created and it is falling down. Or shooting star, what we call it as. So the shooting stars is like created from the sky. It is an appearance. We had a vision of the star, but nothing was available for analysis. Dream is a creation by the Atma Maya. Not only dream, the entire Jivatvam or the individuality, whether you call it as mind, self, individual, the Manobuddhi Ahankara Chitta, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manamaya, whatever nomenclature you want to provide it, you can provide it. But all of them are Atma Maya Visarjitaha. It is a creation of the Atma using Maya as an illusion. So here Maya and Mithya should be understood that Aditye Sarva Samye Va Na Utpavatti Hi Vidyate. There is neither superiority or equality, and there is no reason to establish that there is something except established. Just as the dream, we say inferior, the waking is superior, that type of a difference you cannot make it. Because if you really analyze from the point of view of unconditional awareness, they are mere appearances. And they are also creating experience from appearances only. Because the appearance gives rise to a feeling that they are real, like the snake appearing on the substratum of the rope. We felt the reality of the snake is independent of the rope. Here, the awareness of the dream, the awareness of the waking, we are thinking that the dream is separate and the waking is separate. One is superior, one is inferior, and they are all, experiences, and therefore they are creations. But like the snake which has been created out of the substratum of the rope, it is the awareness in which the dream is experienced. And is it not the world of waking, mere awareness? Have you got any experience of anything in the waking of which you are not aware? If awareness is not there, is there anything called experience? whether it is a dream or waking. In both these cases, what happens is that the experiences are accepted, but they are mere appearances, and these appearances are due to what? Atma Maya Visarjitaha. This Atma, which is there unconditional all over and in every body, therefore every body appears to be having an appearance. And the appearances of every body gives rise to experience. So we are forgetting from where these experiences are coming from, but we take experiences as reality and we do the transactions, not analyzing into the depth of it. Achan Gaudapada wants to prove that there is no creation at all, ajadi. So when he says that in the next Karika, रसादयो हि ये कोश व्याख्यात तैत्तिरीयके तेषाम् आत्मा परो जीव खम यदा संप्रकाशिका. So रसादयो हि ये कोश व्याख्यात तैत्तिरीयके. In the Taittiriya Upanishad there are 5 koshas, koshadi. Vyakhyada means named. Rasadeha means Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. These are the names given in the 5 koshas in the Taittiriya Upanishad. And then it also says, Tesham Atma Para. Jiva Kham Yada Swaprakashika. It is revealed that in that statement itself there is a statement that even though they are from, Atma is superior to all of them, 5 kosha, and the Jiva is Kham Yada Swaprakashita. It is like the Jiva is being experienced. Prakashita means, here you should understand, revealed means experienced. Like the content in a space, in the totality of the absolute awareness, unconditional awareness, the awareness is being experienced in the body of the individual. Therefore, the creation of the 5 koshas or the body of this thing is to make like that they are like the pot created, but what the body, the 5 koshas are experiencing or is not the appearances of the 5 kosha, but it is the awareness, like the akasha which is there everywhere. That is what is the awareness which is happening inside that body. Then one more, he is also referring to the next mantra which is about the Brihadaranya Upanishad. Dvayo madhujnane param brahma prakashitam prithivyam udarecha eva yada akasha prakashita. In this one what happens is, this is talking about the Madhubrahmana of Brihadaranya. In the Madhubrahmana what happens is, there also they are talking about the Supreme Atman is everywhere, like Prithivyam Udare Evacha. It is in the earth of the whole world. Earth means, it doesn't mean that the earth what we are referring to as the planet Earth. In the Upanishad when they say earth means it is the total planet, the planetary system or the total world. Udarecha, inside the stomach of the jiva also there is a space. In the space is there, in the whole planet is also suspended. Yata akasha prakashita. Just as it's inside the space, those planets have come, even the same way the jiva has come with space inside. So when they say saying that this is, he is referring to in this particular part is that there is a there are statements in the Upanishad way saying that Angushtamatra Purusha Hridaye, Tishtati. It is residing in the center of the heart and etc. Atma is being referred to as also see. They are all being referred to for people to have a anchor in the initial stages that Ishvara or the Atma is not somewhere in the skies, much above, untangible and unapproachable type of that. So to bring that prop to the individual level, these statements from the Upanishads are used mainly to people to feel that the divinity within themselves or the awareness is within themselves. The divinity and the awareness are not two separate things. It is the awareness which is there, and when that awareness is understood, it is there through the whole body. Antarbahya. It is inside and outside. That is what Kathopanishad mentioned. We have studied that. So it can neither pinpoint it to inside nor say restrict it to outside. You cannot divide it. You cannot say it's part of the whole and part type of a thing. And all these things are even explained in the Upanishads, in other Upanishads. So not only that it is my statement that what Gaudapada says, it is not that it is just my statement, it is the very statement which is there in the Upanishads also. I am using the Upanishad statements to prove that the Jiva was never created. So this two Upanishads he is quoting that Jivatmano Anyatvam Abhedena Prashasyate Nanatvam Nindyade Yat Cha Tadevam Hi Samanjasam. Samanjasam means that is the consistent way or the truth. Jiva Atmana. The Jiva, the individual, and Atma, the individual and the total. Ananyatvam, non-difference. There is absolutely no difference which you can bring in between the individual and the total. It is neither created, the individual is neither created from the total nor it is a part of the total. Abhedena, in no way you can make an identical difference between the two. Because Bhedam means separation, Abheda means non-separation. So the non-difference or the non-identity separation, in no way you can make a separation. The Jiva, Jivo Brahmaiva Napara is the meaning of this sloka. So he is saying that if you are making these statements that the Jiva is separate from Atma, you are going against the Shruti and you are not understood the Upanishad or the meaning or the philosophy of the Upanishad. It very categorically and clearly in all possible ways, giving different examples, has unconditionally proven that there is absolutely no difference between the total and the individual. Prasasyate is being praised by the Upanishad. Not only that, Nanatvam Nindyadecha. It is also, refuting the duality. Tadevan Sahiyam, that is the Nyaya between the two. Now, for example, in that one, Shankaracharya, when he wrote his commentary on this sloka, he has written a big one. But in that one, he is quoting some Upanishad which is refuting the Nanatvam. Natu Dvitiyam Asti. In the Brihadaranya Upanishad, it is that Natu Dvitiyam Asti. Absolutely, but there is no duality, is what the statement is there. Dvitiyad vai bhayam bhavati. If you consider there is something other than you, then you will be limited, conditioned, and you will be fearing that. This is where most of the religion is using the psychosis for making people fear about it. That there is a Father in heaven or Allah or Ishvara, the Jagadishvara who created the world, and you will be at his mercy for everything. Gaudapada says that there is no difference between the two. There is nothing to call different. Even the Paramatma or Jivatma are not separate. Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. And in the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is another statement called Udaram Antaram Gurute Atatasya Bhayam Bhavati. Even if you consider there is an iota of difference, then you will be limited and you will be scared of that. Even a dust particle, when it falls on your eyes, how you are scared. You know how scared you are in your dust particle and your eyes. This is a very very simple example. So if you think that even a virus is there other than you inside the world outside, and you identify with the body, the virus will attack your body, you will have fall sick, dead. But when you know that you are the awareness, the body has been attacked by the virus, and you know that it is the body which is going through this thing. You are a witness to the body which is getting attacked by the virus. But in you there is no separation. That awareness has got no separation. The virus is also an awareness, the body is also awareness, and it is one awareness interacting with another awareness. There is no one awareness and interacting with other awareness. Sorry for saying that. It is in awareness, both are happening. Idam sarvam idayam atma. Idam sarvam. Whatever you call it as this, when you say this, there are two aspects of it. When I say this, anything this is having two components. One is this means as an object or a feeling or a thought, something other than me. And there is aspect of knowledge or awareness of this. Without that knowledge or awareness of this, the object, emotion or feeling of this has no locus standi. Only when the awareness of this is supported by awareness, the this can exist. Whatever may be that this, it can be this body, this planet, this moon, the sun, anything that. So, idam sarvam idayam atma. So, this atma is that which is everything. Whether you call it as this or tad tvamasi, when it is come to that, it is because of this. There is no difference between this and that. Then he also, in the Kathopanishad, he says that Mrityosa mrityum apnoti ya iha naneva pasyati. One who sees the duality, whether it's a Dvaidin or Vishishtadvaidin or any religious cult or anybody who thinks that there is a separation, I am not awareness, I am separate from awareness, I am the body. Sa mrityum apnoti. He will go through the feeling that he buying in the birth and death, this cycle, because he is identified with the body. To such a person, these things happens. All these things are showing very clearly that every Upanishad has got the very crystal clear feeling that there is no two. Ananyatvam and Advitiyatvam is the reality on which the whole reality is to be understood, and one who has imbibed that understanding and may become one with that, for him the body is an object to be observed. He is no more conditioned by the body and the body effects, nor is he conditioned by what is happening in the world, because it happens to the world. I am an observer to the happenings of the world. It is also taking place in awareness. In awareness, the waves come and go. The ocean doesn't get affected. In the space, pot comes, house comes, the black hole comes, anything can come and go, but the space is unaffected. And in awareness, anything that happens doesn't affect awareness. And that awareness is my nature. Shuddha Suddha Buddha Mukta Svabhavaham. I am that pure awareness in which everything is happening or everything is being aware of. That awareness is my nature. Aham Brahmasmi. That is my nature. So I'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Thank you all.